The Knights Templar were a powerful force in medieval Europe, their influence spanning both religious and political realms. Established during the Crusades, their original mission was to protect Christian pilgrims traveling to Jerusalem. However, their role expanded far beyond that humble beginning. As the Templars grew, so did their wealth, landholdings, and political sway. They became a powerful military order, building a network of castles, fortresses, and alliances across Europe. But their rapid rise was not without its dangers. The Templars' wealth and influence soon made them a target. Rumors and accusations of heresy, secret rites, and blasphemous practices circulated, leading to their eventual downfall. In 1307, King Philip IV of France, heavily indebted to the order, ordered the mass arrest of the Templars, accusing them of heresy and immoral practices. Under pressure from the king and the pope, the order was officially disbanded in 1312. Yet, despite their formal dissolution, the myth of the Templars endures. The mystery surrounding their sudden fall, their treasures, and the possible secrets they carried has fueled centuries of speculation. As the Templars' power grew, so did the suspicion surrounding them. One of the most intriguing aspects of their legacy is the belief that they were in possession of knowledge far beyond their time. Some theorists suggest that the Templars discovered ancient technologies or lost wisdom during their time in Jerusalem. They had access to sacred sites and perhaps stumbled upon ancient scrolls, relics, or forgotten scientific knowledge. Theories range from the idea that the Templars had knowledge of advanced architectural techniques to suggestions they held secrets about alchemy and even energy-based technologies. The Templars' ability to build massive, intricate structures like cathedrals and castles has fueled speculation that they possessed an understanding of geometry and engineering far ahead of their peers. Additionally, there are theories that the Templars' mystical practices and rites were rooted in ancient esoteric knowledge, passed down through generations. These hidden secrets, some believe, were deliberately concealed, either to protect them or to keep them from falling into the wrong hands. Despite centuries of efforts to uncover the truth, the Templars' most profound mysteries remain locked away, waiting to be discovered. In the heart of Jerusalem, beneath the Temple Mount, a secret excavation took place in the early 12th century that would alter the course of history. It wasn't gold, relics, or treasures that the Knights Templar sought during their time spent digging beneath this sacred site. It was something far more enigmatic, something far more dangerous. The Temple Mount, long revered as the holiest of places in Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, stood as a symbol of divine power. For centuries, it had been the focus of religious and political tensions. But for the Templars, it represented something more, a key to unlocking an ancient mystery. When the Templars arrived in Jerusalem, their mission was ostensibly to protect pilgrims and safeguard the Christian presence in the Holy Land. But the order's leaders quickly began a project that would be kept secret from both their contemporaries and the outside world for centuries to come. For 9 years, the Templars excavated the foundations of the Temple Mount, believed by many to be the location of the ancient Jewish Temple of Solomon. What they discovered there remains a matter of great speculation. Some historians argue that the excavation was nothing more than a search for material riches, hidden treasures from previous religious groups, or sacred artifacts left behind by the Romans. But others contend that what the Templars unearthed was far more profound and mysterious. The Temple Mount, according to some theories, held the remnants of ancient wisdom, knowledge that predated Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. It's said that during the Templar dig, the Knights found remnants of a much older civilization, one with advanced understanding of mathematics, astronomy, architecture, and even technologies that seemed to belong to a different era altogether. The most tantalizing clue of all is the suggestion that the Templars discovered ancient manuscripts or relics that detailed forgotten sciences and techniques, which they took back with them to Europe. This knowledge, some claim, was far beyond the technological grasp of the medieval world. It is from this discovery that the Templars' rise to power, their strange innovations, and their sudden wealth may have originated. The exact nature of what the Templars uncovered remains shrouded in mystery. Some of the most enduring legends center around a set of scrolls or texts that were purportedly buried beneath the Temple Mount, manuscripts that contained not just religious teachings, but insights into secret sciences. These texts might have detailed knowledge of lost engineering techniques, star maps that guided explorers to the farthest corners of the Earth, and codes that could unlock the mysteries of the universe. Whatever the Templars found, it's clear that it was something that would have been considered both sacred and forbidden. In the centuries that followed, those who came into contact with Templar knowledge, whether through initiation into their ranks or through the remnants of the Order's possessions, reported encountering ideas and technologies that defied the conventional understanding of the time. One of the more intriguing aspects of the Templar excavation was their relationship with the local Muslim scholars in Jerusalem. The Islamic world had preserved and expanded upon ancient Greek, Roman, and Egyptian knowledge during the Middle Ages. It is possible that the Templars, while in the Holy Land, gained access to some of these works, which were hidden away in private collections, libraries, or even in plain sight within the city's diverse religious communities. As the Templars spent more time in Jerusalem, their understanding of this knowledge likely deepened, creating an exchange between Eastern and Western traditions of science and mysticism. It's even speculated that this exchange could have been the key to the Templars' sudden leap in intellectual and technological prowess upon their return to Europe. But the question remains, what exactly did they find beneath the Temple Mount? Were these ancient secrets of the kind that could truly transform civilization? Some researchers suggest that the Templars uncovered a form of energy technology, possibly something related to the ancient use of sacred geometry or even lost methods of harnessing natural forces, like electricity or magnetism. Others speculate that the relics they unearthed could have been related to the ancient mysteries of the pyramids or the lost civilizations of Atlantis. Some modern theorists even propose that the Templars discovered a way to manipulate matter or energy in ways that were only rediscovered in the 20th century. Whatever the truth, the very secrecy surrounding the excavation suggests that the Templars found something worth hiding, something that could not be allowed to fall into the wrong hands. The most widely accepted theory is that what the Templars discovered under the Temple Mount was the key to an ancient system of knowledge, one that combined esoteric wisdom, scientific understanding, and spiritual enlightenment. The Order may have believed that this knowledge was meant to be preserved, guarded, and passed down through generations, a secret meant only for those deemed worthy. This hidden legacy would explain many of the strange and advanced features found in Templar architecture, codes, and rituals. The precision of their building projects, the encoded messages in their art, and the cryptic symbols found in their manuscripts all point to an understanding of the world that transcended conventional medieval knowledge. Despite all this, the Templars never publicly revealed the nature of their discoveries. They spoke of nothing except their mission to protect Christian pilgrims and uphold the faith. But the evidence that something extraordinary was hidden beneath the Temple Mount remains compelling. The secrecy surrounding their excavation and the bizarre wealth and influence that followed can't be easily explained by the conventional narrative of a group of devout knights simply trying to do good in the Holy Land. Whatever was uncovered during those years of digging must have been something far more complex, far more powerful, and far more dangerous than anyone could have imagined. As history moved on and the Templars' influence spread, their connection to the Temple Mount and to the knowledge they uncovered there remained central to their identity. This discovery may have been the catalyst for everything that followed: their rapid rise to power, their sudden wealth, and the extraordinary technologies and ideas they seemed to introduce to the Western world. What began as a humble band of knights tasked with protecting pilgrims may have transformed into a secret society of scholars, scientists, and engineers, guardians of knowledge that could reshape the future. Yet, this knowledge was so perilous that it would soon be deemed too dangerous to be left in the hands of any one group. And so, the question remains, what did the Templars truly find beneath the Temple Mount? And why did they go to such lengths to keep it hidden? Only fragments of the truth remain, buried deep in the shadow of history. The Templars were not simply warriors or monks. They were innovators, architects, and builders in a world that had yet to fully understand the power of science and engineering. When they returned to Europe after their years in the Holy Land, their newfound influence was not only in religious matters, but in their ability to create structures and systems that seemed far ahead of their time. The legacy of the Templar architectural style is perhaps the most visible and enduring evidence of their mysterious expertise. Across Europe, one can find the remains of Templar castles, churches, and commanderies, fortresses that were not just places of worship or military defense, but also the embodiment of an advanced understanding of geometry, symmetry, and even astronomy. What set Templar architecture apart was its precision. These structures were not just built for function. They were built with an eye towards something greater. One of the most striking features of Templar buildings is the use of sacred geometry, a practice that dates back to the ancient world and was known to have been used by the Egyptians, Greeks, and early Christian builders. Sacred geometry refers to the mathematical principles that govern the proportions, patterns, and structures found in nature, and it is believed that these principles, when applied in architecture, can harness spiritual energy and create spaces of profound significance. The Templars were masters of this art. Whether it was the design of their castles or the layout of their chapels, every measurement seemed to have a purpose, every angle a deeper meaning. One of the most compelling examples of Templar architecture is the Château de Geysers in France. This fortress, built in the 12th century, is believed by some researchers to be a key site in the Templar mystery. Its unusual design, particularly the way it incorporates circular and angular shapes, suggests that it was not merely a military stronghold, but a repository of hidden knowledge. Geysers, along with other Templar sites, contains subtle references to esoteric symbols such as the compass and square, which were used by Freemasons in later centuries. These symbols, deeply rooted in the traditions of ancient builders, may have been part of a much older tradition of secret knowledge passed down through the ages. The Templars' interest in sacred geometry and advanced engineering wasn't just about aesthetics or spiritual symbolism. There is a theory that suggests their architectural projects were designed with a more practical purpose in mind, to harness unseen forces, such as ley lines or electromagnetic fields, which are thought to imbue certain places with power. Some researchers propose that the Templars were aware of the concept of energy fields, lines of force that flow through the earth, connecting specific points of significance. By positioning their buildings along these lines, the Templars may have believed they could tap into these natural energies, enhancing their own power and influence. This idea of aligning structures with natural forces aligns with the traditions of ancient civilizations, who often built temples and pyramids on locations where these lines converged. Another remarkable feature of Templar architecture is the mysterious symbols found etched into their buildings. These symbols are not just decorative. They're believed to encode hidden meanings. The most common symbol associated with the Templars is the hexagram, or Star of David, which is often linked to both Jewish mysticism and alchemical traditions. In addition, Templar buildings often feature carvings of unusual animals, cryptic patterns, and geometrical shapes that are thought to be part of a hidden language of the order. These symbols, when studied in conjunction with the order's other secrets, suggest that the Templars may have been preserving a form of knowledge that went beyond religious doctrine, a knowledge rooted in ancient traditions of alchemy, astrology, and sacred geometry. But the Templars were not merely interested in building physical structures. Their architectural knowledge extended to the design of secret codes, maps, and documents. Many scholars believe that the Templars developed a sophisticated system of encoding information, using ciphers and cryptograms to preserve their secrets. These coded messages were often embedded in the very fabric of their buildings, in the layout of their chapels, and in the patterns of their art. One of the most famous examples of this is the floor plan of the Church of Saint Sulpice in Paris, which has been linked to Templar traditions. The church is believed by some to contain hidden messages that point to the location of an ancient treasure, possibly the Holy Grail or other sacred relics. These encoded clues, when pieced together, suggest that the Templars were not just builders of castles and churches, but creators of a vast network of hidden knowledge that could only be understood by those initiated into their secret order. This network of knowledge was not confined to architecture alone. It extended into the Templars' banking and financial systems, which were revolutionary for their time. The Templars are often credited with the invention of the modern banking system. In the 12th century, as their influence spread across Europe, they began to offer a form of financial service to pilgrims traveling to the Holy Land. Pilgrims could deposit money with the Templars in one country and then withdraw it upon arrival in Jerusalem. This simple yet effective banking system helped the Templars amass an enormous fortune, but it also showcased their advanced understanding of finance and logistics, an understanding that was far ahead of their time. The Templars also created a complex network of communication, using coded letters and symbols to transmit messages across great distances. They were pioneers in the use of encrypted communications, long before the advent of modern cryptography. Some historians suggest that the Templars' ability to move vast sums of money and communicate across borders was a key part of their success. But it's possible that they were not just using these systems for financial transactions. They may have been using them to transmit secret knowledge and keep their discoveries hidden from those who would seek to destroy them. One of the most fascinating aspects of Templar architecture and design is the idea that their buildings may have been constructed as a form of spiritual technology. The Templars believed that certain locations and structures could channel divine energy, and they may have used their buildings as tools to access higher states of consciousness or to unlock hidden powers. This concept of sacred space and architecture as a means of spiritual enlightenment is found in many ancient traditions, from the pyramids of Egypt to the stone circles of the Druids. The Templars, however, may have taken this idea to a new level, blending it with their understanding of science, geometry, and mysticism. The knowledge encoded in Templar buildings, symbols, and systems was not just about power, it was about preservation. The Templars understood that the knowledge they had uncovered was too dangerous to be allowed to fall into the wrong hands. By embedding this knowledge in the architecture of their castles and chapels, they ensured that it would be preserved for future generations. They also ensured that only those initiated into their secret order would be able to understand the hidden messages contained within these structures. As time passed, the Templars' vast network of knowledge began to attract the attention of the church and the monarchy. Their wealth, influence, and secrecy made them a target. The story of the Templars' eventual downfall is well known. Arrested, tortured, and executed on charges of heresy and treason, the order was dismantled by the King of France, Philippe IV, and Pope Clement V in the early 14th century. However, what they failed to destroy was the legacy of Templar knowledge. Despite their violent end, the Templars' secrets lived on, passed down through hidden societies and secretive groups that would eventually form the foundation for Freemasonry and other esoteric traditions. In the centuries that followed, the influence of Templar architecture, symbols, and knowledge continued to resonate. Many of the great buildings of the Renaissance, such as St. Peter's Basilica in Rome, were designed by architects who were influenced by the Templar tradition. Even today, the Templars' legacy can be seen in the design of many important buildings, from cathedrals to Masonic lodges. The Templars were not just builders of fortresses. They were builders of a secret, hidden world that continues to captivate the imagination of those who seek to understand the mysteries of the past. The Templars' architectural legacy is not just a collection of stone and mortar. It is a testament to their advanced understanding of the world, a world that combines science, spirituality, and secrecy in a way that continues to fascinate and mystify us today. The buildings they left behind are not just relics of the past. They're symbols of the hidden knowledge that the Templars fought to preserve. And as we look at these structures today, we can only wonder, what secrets do they still hold, waiting to be discovered? The Knights Templars' mysterious rise to power, their mastery of architecture, and their vast wealth would all become inextricably linked to their possession of a hidden, almost mythical, treasure. What began as a humble order of knights dedicated to protecting Christian pilgrims in the Holy Land soon evolved into a secretive network of wealthy, highly skilled individuals. But despite their widespread influence and the great fortunes they accumulated, there remains a persistent question. What was the source of their wealth? And perhaps more intriguingly, did the Templars possess a treasure so valuable, so extraordinary, that it could explain the speed of their rise and their secrecy? The most popular theory, one that has become deeply ingrained in the public imagination, is that the Templars were the guardians of the Holy Grail. The Grail, long considered the cup used by Christ at the Last Supper and believed to have mystical properties, is an object shrouded in legend and myth. The connection between the Templars and the Grail has been heavily romanticized in popular culture, from the tales of King Arthur to modern works like the Da Vinci Code. According to some theories, the Templars discovered the Grail while they were digging beneath the Temple Mount, and it was this sacred relic that served as the key to their rise. The Grail, they believed, was not just a religious artifact, but a source of immense spiritual and possibly physical power that could change the course of history. However, the true nature of the Templars' treasure may not have been as straightforward as a simple cup or artifact. Many scholars and researchers point to the idea that the Grail represented something far more symbolic than a physical object. In the esoteric traditions of the time, the Holy Grail was not merely a cup, but a vessel that could hold hidden knowledge that would allow its possessor to unlock the mysteries of the universe. The Templars, with their advanced understanding of sacred geometry, architecture, and the natural world, may have believed that the Grail was a metaphor for a higher form of wisdom that could only be passed down through initiation into their secret order. Others argue that the Templars' treasure was not a religious artifact at all, but rather something of a more practical nature, an ancient document or series of texts that contained powerful knowledge. The idea that the Templars uncovered ancient manuscripts during their excavation beneath the Temple Mount has long been a subject of speculation. Some believe that the Templars discovered writings that contained the lost secrets of the ancient world, perhaps knowledge of advanced technologies, alchemy, or even lost civilizations like Atlantis. These texts could have been the key to their vast wealth and influence, giving the Templars an edge over other powers in medieval Europe. The idea of the Templars as the keepers of an ancient, forbidden knowledge is central to many of the theories about their hidden treasure. Some suggest that the treasure was not material at all, but a form of intellectual or mystical wisdom that could grant those who possessed it great power. This theory aligns with the Templars' focus on secrecy and the fact that they never fully disclosed the nature of their wealth or their true purpose. The Templars were not simply knights. They were scholars, alchemists, and mystics, working in the shadows to preserve the knowledge they had uncovered and to ensure that it was passed on to future generations. One of the most intriguing aspects of the Templars' treasure is the idea that it may have been hidden from both the church and secular authorities. In the 14th century, as their power grew and their wealth became increasingly apparent, the Templars attracted the envy and suspicion of the French monarchy. King Philippe IV, facing financial difficulties and seeking to strengthen his own power, set his sights on the Templars' vast fortune. In 1307, Philippe ordered the mass arrest of the Templars, accusing them of heresy and treason. While many of the Templars were tortured and executed, the treasure they were believed to possess was never found. Some believe that the treasure was moved to a secret location, perhaps even hidden within one of the many Templar strongholds scattered across Europe. The disappearance of the Templar treasure has been a source of mystery and speculation ever since. Some theorists believe that the treasure was hidden in plain sight, buried beneath one of the Templar castles or cathedrals that dotted the European landscape. The Château de Geysers in France, often linked to the Templars, has long been a subject of interest for treasure hunters. It is said that the Templars hid their treasure somewhere within the complex, using secret passages and cryptic symbols to conceal its exact location. Other theories point to the possibility that the treasure was hidden in Scotland, where the Templars were known to have strong connections, or even in the New World, an idea popularized by the theory that the Templars sailed across the Atlantic long before Columbus. Adding to the intrigue are the various Templar symbols that may be clues to the treasure's whereabouts. The most famous of these is the Templar cross, a distinctive symbol that is often found carved into the stone of Templar castles, churches, and monuments. Some researchers believe that these crosses, along with other symbols used by the order, may contain hidden codes or maps that point to the location of the treasure. The use of coded language, secret symbols, and cryptic messages was a hallmark of Templar practices, and it is likely that they encoded their knowledge and treasure locations in this way, in order to protect them from those who would destroy or exploit them. One of the most persistent rumors surrounding the Templar treasure involves the possibility that it was linked to the ancient legend of the Ark of the Covenant. The Ark, according to biblical tradition, was said to contain the tablets of the Ten Commandments and had immense spiritual power. Some believe that the Templars, during their time in Jerusalem, came into possession of the Ark or other sacred relics related to it. The connection between the Ark and the Templars is tenuous, but the idea persists that the treasure they hid may have been linked to this ancient artifact, either as a symbol of divine power or as an actual physical object. Yet another theory is that the Templar treasure was not a single object, but a collection of relics, manuscripts, and knowledge that, when combined, held the key to immense spiritual or even alchemical power. The Templars were deeply involved in the study of alchemy, astrology, and mysticism, and many believe that their treasure was a repository of these esoteric secrets. Some suggest that the treasure was intended to be a means of unlocking the hidden potential of the human spirit, granting those who understood its secrets access to higher realms of consciousness, eternal life, or even control over the natural world. In the years following the Templars' fall, their treasure has remained a central part of the mystery that surrounds the order. While countless treasure hunters have searched for the lost riches of the Templars, no definitive evidence has ever surfaced. The treasure may have been hidden so well that it has yet to be found, or perhaps it is a treasure of such profound and dangerous knowledge that it must remain lost for the good of humanity. In any case, the legacy of the Templar treasure continues to captivate those who seek the hidden knowledge and power they left behind. For those who are determined to uncover the secrets of the Templars, the search for their treasure is not just about gold or jewels. It is about something far more elusive and far more dangerous. The search for the knowledge and wisdom that could change the course of history. Whether the Templars found the Holy Grail, ancient manuscripts, or some form of alchemical power, the true nature of their treasure remains a mystery. Yet the legend persists, and it continues to fuel the imaginations of those who believe that the Knights Templar were not just protectors of the faith, but guardians of a secret that could alter the fate of the world. The decline of the Knights Templar remains one of the most dramatic and puzzling events in medieval history. Their downfall was swift and brutal, marked by arrests, accusations of heresy, and the disbandment of their order by the Pope. In the early 14th century, the Templars were at the height of their power, wealthy, influential, and deeply entrenched in the political, religious, and economic systems of Europe. Yet, in a matter of months, the order was effectively destroyed, their leaders tortured and burned at the stake, their properties seized, and their treasures lost to the annals of history. What caused this sudden collapse? Was it the result of political machinations, religious rivalry, or something more sinister? The immediate catalyst for the Templars' downfall was King Philippe IV of France, who was deeply indebted to the order. Philippe, facing an enormous financial crisis, had borrowed vast sums of money from the Templars to fund his wars, especially his campaign in Flanders. But as his debts mounted and his need for more money grew, Philippe saw an opportunity to seize the wealth of the Templars and eliminate a potential rival to his own authority. The Templars, with their vast network of castles, estates, and treasure, had become an incredibly powerful force in Europe, one that Philippe could not afford to let remain independent. In 1307, on Friday, October 13th, Philippe ordered the mass arrest of all Templars in France. The knights were accused of a wide range of charges, including heresy, blasphemy, sodomy, and even the worship of a mysterious idol known as Baphomet. These charges were designed to tarnish the order's reputation and justify the confiscation of their assets. Over 500 Templars were arrested in a single night, and many were tortured into confessions under duress. The most notable among them was Jacques de Molay, the Grand Master of the Order, who was subjected to prolonged torture before being forced to recant his alleged crimes. The trial of the Templars was a spectacle of injustice and brutality. The knights were brought before the Inquisition, where they were accused of secret rituals, blasphemous practices, and immoral behavior. Many of the confessions extracted from the Templars were dubious at best, with accusations ranging from ritualistic practices involving Baphomet to the denial of Christ and the spitting on a crucifix. These confessions were used as evidence to justify the dismantling of the order. However, it is widely believed that many of these confessions were fabricated or coerced, as the Templars were subjected to horrific forms of torture, including being burned with hot irons, stretched on the rack, and subjected to psychological torment. The Pope at the time, Clement V, was heavily influenced by Philippe's political pressure. Though he initially hesitated to act, he ultimately succumbed to the king's demands and issued a papal bull in 1312 officially dissolving the Knights Templar. The order's vast wealth and properties were seized, and the Templars were expelled from the Holy Land. Their strongholds and castles were either destroyed or repurposed, and their secrets, if they existed, were hidden from the world. Many of the surviving Templars fled to other parts of Europe, seeking refuge in places like Scotland, Portugal, and Spain. Some went underground, continuing to exist in secret societies and esoteric traditions that would later become associated with Freemasonry and other hidden orders. While the official story of the Templar trials suggests that they were disbanded due to heresy, there are many who believe that the truth behind their fall was more complex. Some argue that the Templars were the victims of a larger conspiracy, one driven by the desires of secular rulers and church authorities who saw the order as a threat to their power. The Templars, after all, were a wealthy and independent organization that operated outside the control of the papacy and secular monarchs. They had their own system of governance, their own banking network, and their own interests, which may have conflicted with those of the church and the monarchy. In this light, the charges of heresy may have been a convenient excuse to remove a powerful and independent institution from the political stage. Another theory posits that the Templars' downfall was tied to the dangerous knowledge they may have possessed. The order was rumored to have uncovered ancient secrets, whether in the Holy Land or through their esoteric studies, that had the potential to challenge the very foundation of Christianity and threaten the status quo of medieval society. The Templars' affinity for alchemy, sacred geometry, and mysticism along with their presumed possession of secret manuscripts or relics, may have placed them at odds with the Church, which feared that such knowledge could undermine its spiritual authority. If the Templars did possess forbidden knowledge, knowledge that had been hidden for centuries, it is possible that the Church sought to destroy the order not simply because of political or financial reasons, but because it represented a challenge to the established religious order. The connection between the Templars and hidden knowledge is further supported by the strange and cryptic nature of their rituals. The Templars were known to conduct secret ceremonies and initiation rites, which were not widely understood by outsiders. Some of these rites were believed to involve the transmission of hidden knowledge, possibly relating to ancient wisdom passed down from the time of the Crusades or even from earlier civilizations. The accusations of heresy and blasphemy levied against the Templars may have been a reflection of the order's secretive and mysterious practices, which were at odds with the Church's teachings and the orthodox views of the time. After the Templars' fall, rumors began to circulate about the hidden treasure that they were believed to have possessed. The treasure, some believed, was not just gold and jewels, but something far more valuable, an ancient artifact, a manuscript, or a map leading to an even greater secret. The notion of a Templar treasure, whether the Holy Grail, a collection of lost knowledge, or something else, became one of the most enduring mysteries associated with the order. Many believed that the Templars had hidden their treasure before their arrests, and that it remained concealed in secret locations across Europe. This theory was further fueled by the fact that, despite the widespread arrests and trials, no treasure was ever found. In the centuries following the Templars' dissolution, their legacy lived on in various forms. The idea of hidden knowledge and secret treasures persisted, particularly in esoteric traditions and societies like Freemasonry, which incorporated many elements of Templar symbolism and ritual into their own practices. Some believed that the Templars, or at least their knowledge, survived through these secret societies and that they continued to pass down their ancient wisdom through hidden channels. Over time, these connections would become the foundation for a variety of conspiracy theories and speculative historical narratives, many of which continue to capture the imagination of those intrigued by the Templars' mysterious legacy. Despite the fact that the Templar Order was officially disbanded, its legacy remains a potent force in the world of alternative history and esoteric traditions. The Templars are often portrayed as the keepers of lost knowledge, guardians of ancient secrets, and a mysterious force operating in the shadows of history. Whether or not they truly possess the mystical powers and forbidden knowledge attributed to them, the Templars have become emblematic of the quest for hidden truths, truths that continue to fascinate and intrigue those who believe that history is far more complex and mysterious than it appears on the surface. The legacy of the Templars and their downfall has also had a profound impact on the modern world. The idea of secret societies, hidden knowledge, and suppressed history continues to resonate with people today, especially in an age where information is often controlled and manipulated. The Templar story is one of power, betrayal, and the search for forbidden truths. A story that continues to inspire both those who seek to uncover the past and those who believe that the Templars' legacy holds the key to a greater understanding of the mysteries of the world. The flight of the surviving Templars after the Order's collapse is one of the most shadowed and contested chapters in their history, an era where myth, rumor, and possibility blend so seamlessly that separating truth from legend becomes nearly impossible. When King Philippe IV's men stormed the Templar commanderies in 1307, not every knight was captured. Many were warned in advance, slipping away under cover of darkness, disappearing into forests, mountains, and coastlines. What followed was the scattering of an entire brotherhood across Europe, a diaspora of warriors, mystics, bankers, and builders who carried with them not only the scars of betrayal but the memories, and perhaps the secrets, of their lost order. Historical records show that some Templars fled north into regions that had long been sympathetic to their cause. Scotland, for instance, was a natural refuge. At the time of the arrests, Scotland was excommunicated by the Church, granting it a unique immunity from papal edicts. Here, the Templars could find sanctuary among nobles and warriors who valued their skills. According to some accounts, the Templars fought alongside Robert the Bruce at the Battle of Bannockburn, where their sudden, mysterious cavalry charge allegedly turned the tide of the battle. Though mainstream historians argue that this is more legend than fact, the story persists because it fits so neatly into the tapestry of Templar survival, an order that would not die but instead migrate, adapt, and endure. Another group of Templars is said to have escaped to the Iberian Peninsula, where kingdoms like Portugal and Spain were still engaged in their long struggle against the Moors. Here, the Templars' military prowess made them invaluable allies. In Portugal, King Dinis openly refused to persecute them. Instead, he reconstituted their surviving members under a new name, the Order of Christ. This new order inherited Templar lands, wealth, and traditions, allowing the Templar spirit to survive in plain sight. It was the Order of Christ, centuries later, that funded and directed the voyages of the Portuguese Age of Discovery, giving rise to the theory that Templar knowledge, maps, and technologies played a role in early global exploration. Some stories claim that Templars fled even farther beyond the horizon of the known world. There are rumors, whispered through the centuries, that the Templars possessed advanced nautical knowledge and had been navigating the Atlantic long before Columbus. Their powerful fleet, which was anchored at La Rochelle on the eve of the arrests, vanished without a trace. Some historians believe these ships escaped under cover of fog, carrying men, treasure, and secret documents to unknown destinations. Popular theory suggests that these ships sailed to Scotland, others say to the Azores, and still others claim they went as far as Nova Scotia or even the mainland of North America. This idea is fueled by mysterious carvings, symbols, and structures found across the Americas, some of which appear to bear Templar or medieval European characteristics. One of the most enigmatic examples is the Newport Tower in Rhode Island. Though mainstream scholars date it to the 17th century, alternative historians argue it aligns too closely with Templar architectural style to be a coincidence. Its circular stone structure, narrow windows, and astronomical alignments resemble European Templar and Knights Hospitaller buildings. The theory suggests that fleeing Templars constructed this tower as a church or observatory, a foothold in a new world they may have reached long before the age of exploration officially began. Whether this is fact or fiction, the Newport Tower remains a focal point for those who believe the Templars sailed west, not just to escape persecution, but to preserve something precious beyond the reach of kings and the church. Some Templars are believed to have gone underground entirely, disappearing into the labyrinthine network of Europe's secret societies. Their symbols, the Red Cross, the two knights on one horse, and the enigmatic Seal of Solomon, began to appear centuries later in the rituals of the Freemasons. Many argue that the Freemasons inherited not only Templar symbolism, but their esoteric teachings, sacred geometry, and architectural knowledge. This theory gains traction when one considers that the earliest Masonic lodges emerged in regions where Templars had strong historical presence: Scotland, England, and Portugal. According to this interpretation, the Templars did not fade away. They simply transformed, embedding themselves into a new structure capable of preserving their knowledge across the centuries. Others sought refuge with families loyal to the order, living out their lives in obscurity while continuing to pass down fragments of their heritage. In France, rural traditions preserved stories of wandering knights who refused to bow to the king. In Italy, certain noble families were rumored to have sheltered Templar fugitives in exchange for their knowledge of finance and fortification. These stories paint a picture of an order that dissolved not through annihilation, but through dispersion, its members scattering like seeds carried by the wind, each taking a piece of the order's wisdom with them. What binds all these theories together is the belief that the Templars did not simply vanish. Their order was too vast, too wealthy, too interconnected to be entirely uprooted. Even if their buildings were reclaimed, even if their leaders were executed, the essence of who they were, their knowledge, their rituals, their maps, their technologies, was not so easily destroyed. Many believe that these scattered knights became the custodians of forbidden secrets, maintaining their traditions in hidden enclaves while waiting for a time when their knowledge could resurface. The Church's fear was not merely that the Templars were wealthy or powerful. The fear was that their ideas about God, about the universe, about ancient technologies and lost knowledge would continue to spread even after the Order's official dissolution. And so, the surviving Templars became ghosts in the pages of history, present yet unseen, influential yet unacknowledged, hunted yet not defeated. Their survival after the fall is one of the most enduring mysteries of medieval Europe. And for many, this is where the true story of the Templars begins, not in their rise to glory, nor in their catastrophic downfall, but in their quiet, shadowed persistence through the centuries. As the centuries passed, the legend of the Templars did not fade into obscurity. It evolved, feeding into the growing narratives of secret societies, esoteric knowledge, and hidden powers. What began as a military order of monks, dedicated to defending Christian pilgrims and amassing wealth, transformed into the heart of countless theories and conspiracies. The Templars' legacy, shrouded in mystery, became inextricably tied to ideas of forbidden knowledge and ancient wisdom. It was this legacy that would continue to inspire secretive movements, even in the modern era. One of the most profound ways the Templar Order survived was through their integration into the world of secret societies. While many of the Templars who survived the Inquisition went into hiding or sought refuge in more remote regions, some scholars and esoteric thinkers believe that the order did not simply vanish. Instead, it may have found a home within the broader framework of European mysticism and occult traditions, most notably in the rise of Freemasonry. The roots of Freemasonry are often traced to medieval guilds of stonemasons, but there are many who believe the Freemasons inherited much more than just architectural knowledge from the Templars. The idea that the Templars and Freemasons are linked is supported by the fact that certain symbols and rituals are strikingly similar. The famous Templar cross, for example, can be found in Masonic lodges across the world. Additionally, the Templars' obsession with sacred geometry, architecture, and secret rituals has been mirrored in Masonic traditions. Many Masonic scholars point to the Templars as the original custodians of esoteric knowledge, which was later passed down through secret channels. As Freemasonry evolved into a more structured and organized movement in the 16th and 17th centuries, it absorbed the legacy of the Templars, and the order's ancient wisdom was kept alive in the form of secretive Masonic rites and symbols. The notion that the Templars' knowledge was kept alive within these secret societies takes on a particularly mystical character when we consider their interest in alchemy, astrology, and the study of ancient texts. Many researchers have suggested that the Templars were deeply involved in the preservation and study of esoteric manuscripts, possibly containing the lost wisdom of ancient civilizations, such as the Egyptians or Babylonians. These texts, which may have been unearthed during the Templars' time in the Holy Land, were thought to contain not only religious knowledge, but also advanced scientific principles, particularly in the fields of mathematics, astronomy, and medicine. The Templars' unique position, both as knights and scholars, enabled them to collect and safeguard these texts in secret. One of the most enduring theories about the Templars' hidden knowledge revolves around their possible connection to the ancient mysteries of Egypt. The Templars, during their time in the Holy Land, may have come into contact with esoteric traditions rooted in Egyptian mysticism. Egypt was home to some of the most advanced knowledge of the ancient world, particularly in areas such as architecture, engineering, and metaphysical understanding. The idea that the Templars could have uncovered lost Egyptian knowledge, perhaps even the secret teachings of the pyramids, is a theory that persists in occult and esoteric circles. Some believe that the Templars' symbolic connection to Egypt is reflected in their interest in the symbolism of the all-seeing eye, the use of geometric patterns in their architecture, and the belief in hidden knowledge that can only be revealed to initiates. This connection to Egyptian wisdom also feeds into the broader idea that the Templars may have been custodians of a much deeper and more powerful form of knowledge. Some researchers propose that the Templars' treasure was not a physical object at all, but a collection of hidden knowledge that could unlock the secrets of the universe and even grant immortality. This idea aligns with the Templar fascination with alchemy, which was often seen as the pursuit of transmutation, not just of base metals into gold, but of the human soul into something more divine. The concept of spiritual transformation, which was central to alchemical thought, may have been part of the Templars' hidden wisdom. While the Templars' legacy in secret societies like Freemasonry is often explored, another avenue of their influence can be traced to the resurgence of interest in their mysteries during the 19th and 20th centuries. The so-called Templar Revival took place during a time when Western societies were undergoing profound changes, with a rise of Romanticism, the occult revival, and the search for lost or hidden wisdom. During this period, there was a resurgence of interest in ancient traditions, and many intellectuals and mystics began to explore the possibility that the Templars were the key to unlocking this lost knowledge. One of the most prominent figures in this revival was the French scholar and occultist Eliphas Levi, who, in the mid-1800s, began to connect the Templars to mystical and alchemical traditions. Levi's works, including his influential dogme et ritual de la haute magie, explored the connection between the Templars, Kabbalah, and the occult practices of the time. He even went so far as to suggest that the Templars' symbol of Baphomet, often interpreted as a demon or idol, was actually a representation of the hidden wisdom of the ancient world. For Levi, Baphomet was not a dark, evil figure, but rather a symbol of the reconciliation of opposites, the unity of spiritual and material worlds, and the pursuit of enlightenment. In addition to Levi, other 19th and 20th century occultists, including members of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn and the Theosophical Society, also became captivated by the Templars. They too saw the order as the guardians of ancient knowledge, as well as a source of spiritual and mystical power. The rise of modern occultism, with its focus on hidden traditions and the quest for secret knowledge, became in many ways an extension of the Templar mythos. For these occultists, the Templars represented an ideal, an order that had once held the keys to universal wisdom but had been betrayed by the very institutions it had served. Another fascinating aspect of the Templars' role in esoteric traditions lies in the way their image has been used to represent the struggle between hidden knowledge and the forces of suppression. From a moment of their downfall in 1307, the Templars were cast as martyrs of a grand conspiracy, victims of political machinations and religious orthodoxy. This theme of resistance to tyranny, of keeping the flame of forbidden knowledge alive in the face of overwhelming forces, is one that resonates strongly with modern alternative history enthusiasts, secret society theories, and conspiracy narratives. The Templars, in this sense, became symbols not just of a lost order, but of the eternal battle to protect knowledge from those who would seek to control it. In the modern era, the fascination with the Templars continues to grow. From popular culture, where they appear in films, novels, and television series, to serious academic studies, the Templar story is being retold in ways that keep their legacy very much alive. This ongoing interest is more than just a historical curiosity. It speaks to a deeper longing to uncover the hidden aspects of history, to seek out the mysteries that lie just beyond the reach of mainstream narratives. The Templars' journey, from their meteoric rise to their brutal fall, and from their survival in secret societies to their reinvention in modern occultism, reflects an enduring truth, that their story is not one that will ever truly be forgotten. Whether they were the keepers of the Holy Grail, guardians of ancient wisdom, or simple victims of political and religious intrigue, their legacy continues to captivate the imagination. The Templars, in the eyes of many, are no longer just a historical order. They're a symbol of the eternal quest for forbidden knowledge and the enduring power of secrecy. The Templars' fascination with hidden knowledge and their complex relationship with religious authority has spawned some of the most captivating and enduring mysteries surrounding their legacy. As the Order's influence spread across Europe, so too did rumors of their involvement in a secretive, almost mystical form of knowledge that could challenge the very foundations of Christianity and undermine the Church's authority. After the dissolution of the Order, these suspicions only grew stronger, leading to the widespread belief that the Templars were not simply soldiers of Christ, but guardians of ancient, forbidden wisdom, perhaps even the custodians of the Holy Grail itself. The idea that the Templars may have held the secret of the Holy Grail is one of the most popular and persistent theories about their true purpose. The Holy Grail, traditionally believed to be the cup used by Christ at the Last Supper, has long been shrouded in myth and legend. Over the centuries, it has come to symbolize not just a sacred relic, but a vessel containing profound spiritual knowledge and enlightenment. For many, the quest for the Grail represents the search for ultimate truth, an understanding of the divine that transcends ordinary religious doctrine. The connection between the Templars and the Holy Grail has its roots in the Order's presence in Jerusalem during the Crusades. The Templars, originally formed to protect Christian pilgrims traveling to the Holy Land, spent significant time in and around the ancient sites of the Bible, including the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. The legend goes that, during their time in the Holy Land, the Templars may have uncovered ancient manuscripts or relics hidden beneath the Temple of Solomon. Some versions of the story suggest that the Templars discovered not only the Ark of the Covenant, but also the Holy Grail itself, a discovery that would have been seen as both a divine revelation and a source of immense power. For those who believe in this theory, the Templars' subsequent wealth and influence are not the result of earthly power, but a sign of their secret role as keepers of the Grail's sacred knowledge. The Templars' banking system, their military prowess, and their mysterious rituals are seen as evidence that they were more than just a religious order. They were the protectors of an ancient truth that could reshape the world's understanding of Christianity and the divine. In this view, the Templars' secretive nature and their sudden downfall in 1307 were the result of their refusal to relinquish this powerful knowledge, which the Church and secular authorities could neither understand nor control. This idea is further fueled by the many legends that surround the Grail. In medieval literature, the Grail is often portrayed not as a physical object, but as a symbol of spiritual illumination or a path to eternal life. In works such as the Perceval cycle and the quest for the Holy Grail in Arthurian legend, the Grail is described as something that bestows enlightenment or divine favor on those worthy of its power. The Templars, with their strict code of conduct, commitment to spiritual purity, and mysterious rituals, seem to fit the mold of the Grail's guardians. Men entrusted with an otherworldly responsibility to protect knowledge that could change the course of history. The connection between the Templars and the Grail is also woven into the fabric of later myths, particularly those that emerged in the 19th and 20th centuries. One of the most famous of these is the Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown, which reignited global interest in the Templars and their supposed role in guarding the Grail. In the novel, the Grail is not a literal cup, but a symbol of a secret bloodline descended from Jesus Christ, and the Templars are portrayed as protectors of this secret. While the plot of the novel is fictional, it draws heavily on the idea that the Templars held knowledge that could unravel the very foundations of Christianity. This theory, while speculative, has captivated the public imagination and cemented the Templars' place in the modern mythos surrounding the Grail. The idea of the Grail as a symbol of hidden knowledge is also linked to another important aspect of Templar lore: the use of secret codes, symbols, and rituals. The Templars, like many secret societies, were deeply invested in esoteric knowledge and the transmission of ancient wisdom. Their initiation ceremonies, which involved oaths of secrecy, may have been designed not only to protect the order from outside threats, but to encode and preserve hidden truths. The symbols associated with the Templars, such as the Red Cross, the pentagram, and the double-headed eagle, are often seen as representations of deeper metaphysical concepts, such as the union of opposites, the balance of light and darkness, or the pursuit of divine knowledge. One of the most significant and enigmatic symbols associated with the Templars is the mysterious figure of Baphomet. The accusations during the Inquisition that the Templars worshipped a demonic idol known as Baphomet have fueled much of the lore surrounding the order. In medieval accounts, Baphomet was described as a strange and terrifying idol, often depicted with a human head, horns, and an expression of divine and earthly duality. Some believe that Baphomet represented the union of opposites, male and female, good and evil, material and spiritual, and symbolized a deeper, hidden understanding of the universe. For many modern esoteric thinkers, Baphomet is not a demonic figure, but a symbol of the hidden knowledge that the Templars sought to protect. This connection between the Templars, the Grail, and Baphomet points to a central theme in Templar lore: the search for hidden wisdom that transcends conventional religious doctrine. Whether or not the Templars ever actually possessed the Holy Grail, their legacy is undeniably intertwined with the pursuit of a deeper understanding of the divine and the mysteries of the universe. The Templars were not just a military order, but a brotherhood of seekers, men dedicated to uncovering and preserving truths that could not be understood by the masses or the authorities of their time. The Templars' quest for knowledge and their role as guardians of ancient secrets set them apart from other religious orders of the time. While the Catholic Church was focused on orthodoxy and dogma, the Templars were interested in the mystical and the esoteric, in uncovering truths that lay hidden beneath the surface of religious texts and teachings. This distinction made them both revered and feared, revered by those who sought the deeper mysteries of existence, and feared by those who believed such knowledge could threaten the established order. Today, the idea that the Templars held secret knowledge is central to many modern conspiracy theories and alternative history narratives. From a quest for the Holy Grail to the search for ancient relics, the Templars' legacy continues to fuel the imagination of those who believe that history is not what it seems. Whether or not the Templars possessed the secrets of the Grail, they undoubtedly left behind a trail of symbols, myths, and mysteries that continue to challenge our understanding of the past and inspire the search for hidden truths. In the end, the Templars' connection to the Grail is more than just a story of knights and relics. It is a reflection of the human desire to seek out the unknown and the forbidden. Their legacy, whether tied to the Grail or not, is a testament to the enduring appeal of mystery, secrecy, and the quest for enlightenment. The Templars' pursuit of hidden knowledge and the mysteries they left behind continue to captivate and intrigue those who believe that the truth of our history may lie just beneath the surface, waiting to be uncovered. The fall of the Templars in the early 14th century, orchestrated by King Philippe IV of France and Pope Clement V, marked not the end of the order, but the beginning of a new, enigmatic chapter in their history. For centuries, the official narrative has maintained that the Templars were disbanded due to their supposed heresy and financial misconduct, but a closer examination reveals a much deeper and more mysterious story. A story of wealth, power, and hidden knowledge that the church and state could not control. At the heart of the Templars' fall is the matter of their immense wealth. The Templars had amassed a fortune over the course of 2 centuries, securing vast land holdings across Europe, establishing an early banking system, and becoming one of the wealthiest institutions in the medieval world. This financial power made them a target for those in positions of authority, particularly King Philippe IV of France, whose debts to the order had become crippling. It is said that Philippe, eager to wipe out his financial obligations and seize the Templars' assets, conspired with Pope Clement V to bring about the order's destruction. In October 1307, Philippe ordered the mass arrest of all Templar knights in France, accusing them of blasphemy, heresy, and immoral practices. The charges levied against the Templars were nothing short of shocking. They were accused of worshiping a pagan idol, engaging in secret rituals, and denying the authority of the Catholic Church. The most famous and enduring of these accusations was that the Templars worshipped a mysterious figure known as Baphomet, a strange, often demonic idol that has since become a symbol of esoteric knowledge and occult power. The very notion of a secret society of knights engaging in such activities sent shockwaves through medieval Christendom. The Church, already wary of the Templars' growing influence and autonomy, sided with Philippe, and the order was officially dissolved by papal decree in 1312. However, the real question is not whether the Templars were guilty of heresy, but why they were targeted in the first place. The timing of the arrests is particularly telling. Philippe's desperate financial situation, coupled with his desire to weaken the Church's power, provided a convenient justification for the king's actions. But there is also another, more profound reason why the Templars were seen as a threat: their knowledge. The Templars were not just warriors or bankers. They were stewards of ancient wisdom, knowledge that could potentially undermine the foundations of both the Church's teachings and the political order of Europe. Some scholars suggest that the Templars were involved in preserving and safeguarding esoteric knowledge, possibly related to ancient religious traditions, mystical practices, and even the so-called lost knowledge of the ancients. During their time in the Holy Land, the Templars were in close proximity to some of the world's oldest religious and cultural artifacts. This has led to the theory that the Templars may have uncovered hidden manuscripts or relics, perhaps even lost biblical texts, that could challenge the Church's authority. The Templars' fascination with sacred geometry, alchemy, and mysticism points to their deep involvement in ancient, occult traditions that were seen as dangerous to the Church's monopoly on religious knowledge. This brings us to the most compelling theory surrounding the Templars' fall: the idea that the order had uncovered or preserved ancient knowledge, perhaps even the fabled Holy Grail. The Grail, in many traditions, is not merely a cup used at the Last Supper, but a symbol of divine wisdom, a repository of secrets that could reveal the true nature of God, creation, and the universe. In the context of the Templars, the Grail has come to symbolize a hidden truth, a knowledge that, if revealed, could radically alter the understanding of Christianity and the role of the Church in the world. It is said that the Templars, upon discovering the Grail, or something of equivalent importance, became the keepers of this forbidden knowledge. But they did not share it with the world. They protected it, guarding it from both secular and religious authorities who might misuse its power. The concept of the Holy Grail as a hidden knowledge or esoteric truth has its roots in medieval literature, particularly in the Arthurian legends. In these stories, the Grail is often portrayed as something that bestows divine understanding upon those worthy of its power. The Templars, with their unique position as both religious and military figures, may have believed themselves to be the custodians of this wisdom. This idea of the Grail as a symbolic vessel of ultimate knowledge is also supported by the Templars' interest in alchemy, astrology, and other mystical practices, fields that were often seen as heretical by the Church. The fact that the Templars were accused of secret rituals and idol worship suggests that they were involved in practices that went beyond the orthodoxy of Catholicism, exploring ideas that were deemed dangerous or subversive. Moreover, the Templars' sudden rise to power and their ability to create an international network of influence in a relatively short time frame was not only a testament to their military prowess, but also to their sophisticated understanding of finance, politics, and religion. The Templars' banking system, which allowed them to transfer money across great distances and lend to kings and nobility, was ahead of its time. This, too, became a point of contention, as their financial empire gave them a degree of autonomy and influence that rivaled that of the Church and many monarchs. In a time when the Church held immense power, both spiritually and politically, the Templars' independent financial empire was seen as a threat to the Church's control over European society. Another theory that has emerged over the centuries is that the Templars were intentionally targeted because of their association with the secrets of the Temple of Solomon in Jerusalem. During the Crusades, the Templars were entrusted with the protection of the Holy Land, and they spent considerable time on the Temple Mount, which was believed to be the site of the biblical Solomon's Temple. Some researchers suggest that the Templars, during their time there, may have uncovered ancient knowledge or artifacts that were linked to the temple's supposed mysteries. The idea that the Templars found something of great importance beneath the Temple Mount has been the subject of speculation for centuries, particularly in the context of the biblical Ark of the Covenant, which is said to have been hidden there. While the official history of the Templars tells of a sudden and violent end to their order, many alternative historians and conspiracy theorists argue that the order did not simply dissolve. They went underground, taking their knowledge with them. This theory holds that the Templars survived in secret societies, such as the Freemasons, passing down their ancient wisdom to later generations. Freemasonry, with its emphasis on secret rituals, symbolism, and esoteric knowledge, is often seen as the inheritor of the Templars' hidden legacy. In this view, the Templars did not disappear after 1312. Instead, they transformed, adapting to the changing world while preserving their sacred knowledge in a concealed, esoteric form. The enduring mystery of the Templars' fate has only deepened over the centuries. The Order's destruction in 1312 may have been a carefully orchestrated act to rid Europe of a powerful and dangerous force, but it also set in motion a centuries-long search for the lost treasures and knowledge of the Templars. Today, the Templars remain an enduring symbol of secret knowledge, hidden wisdom, and the tension between institutionalized religion and the desire for spiritual and intellectual freedom. Ultimately, the fall of the Templars is not just a historical event, but a symbol of the struggle between power and knowledge, orthodoxy and heresy, control and liberation. The Templars' quest for forbidden wisdom, their role as guardians of ancient truths, and their defiance in the face of persecution have made them a powerful symbol of resistance, secrecy, and the pursuit of hidden knowledge. Their story is far from over. Every generation seems to find new ways to reinterpret their legacy, uncover their secrets, and continue their quest for the truth. In the centuries following the dissolution of the Templar Order, numerous rumors and legends emerged, suggesting that the order had not been eradicated, but rather had gone underground. While official records proclaimed the end of the Templars in the early 14th century, the absence of concrete evidence regarding their total destruction has led to a growing body of conspiracy theories and alternative histories. One of the most intriguing aspects of the Templars' legacy is the theory that they survived in secret societies, passing on their knowledge, rituals, and sacred symbols to later generations. Among the most famous of these societies is Freemasonry, a group that has long been associated with the Templars, and whose secretive nature and complex symbolism have prompted many to believe that the two are intrinsically linked. The connection between the Freemasons and the Templars is rooted in both historical and symbolic ties. Freemasonry, as we know it today, has its origins in the medieval stonemason guilds of Europe, which were responsible for the construction of cathedrals, castles, and other monumental structures. These guilds, with their intricate knowledge of geometry, architecture, and construction, often operated with a high degree of secrecy. However, it is the alleged transition from these guilds into more speculative and philosophical societies in the late 16th and early 17th centuries that has drawn the most attention from historians and conspiracy theorists alike. Freemasonry's rise during the Age of Enlightenment coincided with a period of great intellectual and philosophical upheaval, and many scholars have argued that the Freemasons inherited not just the technical knowledge of their medieval forebears, but also a rich trove of esoteric knowledge that could trace its origins back to the Templars themselves. This connection is primarily based on the similarities in symbolism and ritual between the two groups, which some researchers believe are too significant to be coincidental. One of the most compelling pieces of evidence for the Templar-Freemason connection is the use of symbols that are thought to have originated with the Knights Templar. The most obvious of these is the symbol of the Templar cross, a four-pointed cross that is still used by Freemasons today. The cross, which was worn by Templar Knights as part of their distinctive uniforms, is seen as a powerful emblem of spiritual enlightenment and divine protection. Its continued use by Freemasons has led many to believe that the Freemasons are not simply the successors to the medieval stonemason guilds, but are in fact the spiritual heirs to the Templar legacy. In addition to the cross, other Templar symbols, such as the pentagram and the all-seeing eye, are thought to have been adopted by Freemasons as part of their own esoteric tradition. The pentagram, which is often associated with occultism, is seen as a symbol of the union of opposites, spiritual and material, light and dark, male and female, and represents the search for divine knowledge. The all-seeing eye, often depicted within a triangle, is another symbol commonly used by both the Templars and Freemasons. It is a symbol of spiritual insight and enlightenment, representing the idea of a higher, divine knowledge that transcends the ordinary. These shared symbols have led many to speculate that the Freemasons inherited their knowledge directly from the Templars, or at the very least, were influenced by the Templar Order's esoteric beliefs. Some historians argue that, after the Templars were disbanded, their surviving members may have gone into hiding and formed secret societies, including the Freemasons, in order to preserve and protect the knowledge they had accumulated over the centuries. This theory is further supported by the fact that many prominent figures in the early history of Freemasonry were known to have had strong ties to the Templar Order, either through their familial connections or through their shared interest in esoteric knowledge. One of the most famous early Freemasons was Sir Isaac Newton, a man who was not only one of the most influential scientists in history, but also a deeply religious and mystically inclined thinker. Newton was fascinated by alchemy, astrology, and other occult traditions, and it is believed by some that he may have been privy to knowledge passed down by the Templars. Newton's secretive nature, his interest in the arcane, and his role in the development of Freemasonry have all contributed to the idea that the Freemasons were continuing the work of the Templars by preserving and expanding upon their mystical knowledge. Another key figure in the history of Freemasonry who is often linked to the Templars is the French philosopher and writer Voltaire. Voltaire was a prominent member of the French Enlightenment and was known for his outspoken criticism of the Catholic Church and his advocacy for reason, secularism, and individual freedom. Like Newton, Voltaire was a member of the Freemasons and, like many intellectuals of the time, was deeply interested in the mysteries of the ancient world. It is believed by some that Voltaire and other Enlightenment thinkers were influenced by the secret knowledge of the Templars, which they may have inherited through the Freemasonic tradition. The link between the Templars and Freemasonry is not just a matter of symbolism and historical coincidence. It is also a question of power and influence. Throughout history, the Freemasons have been accused of wielding enormous political power behind the scenes. Conspiracy theorists often point to the fact that many prominent political leaders, from U.S. presidents to European monarchs, have been Freemasons, suggesting that the order is a shadowy, influential force operating at the highest levels of government. The idea that the Templars, through their supposed survival in secret societies, continue to shape the course of world events from behind the scenes is a tantalizing theory that continues to capture the imagination of many. The Templar-Freemason connection is also deeply entwined with the idea of hidden knowledge, knowledge that has been deliberately concealed from the public. The enigmatic legacy of the Templars extends far beyond the realms of secret societies and hidden knowledge. Throughout history, their story has been intertwined with the idea of sacred relics, most famously the Holy Grail. The Grail, whether conceived as a physical artifact or a symbol of divine wisdom, has been at the center of Templar lore, captivating imaginations and inspiring generations of scholars, adventurers, and conspiracy theorists alike. While the mainstream narrative of the Templars' demise tells of their persecution and the destruction of their order, an alternate view persists, one that suggests the Templars safeguarded much more than treasure. They were the custodians of esoteric truths, guarding the Grail and other sacred relics that could change the course of history. The Holy Grail itself has taken on many forms over the centuries. In its most popular conception, it is the cup used by Jesus Christ during the Last Supper, a vessel believed to possess miraculous powers. In medieval Christian tradition, the Grail was seen as a symbol of divine grace, a conduit to eternal life, and the key to unlocking hidden spiritual truths. For the Templars, however, the Grail was not just a religious artifact. It represented a deeper, more profound mystery that transcended the boundaries of conventional Christian doctrine. It is believed that during their time in the Holy Land, the Templars discovered or came into possession of knowledge that was not meant for the public eye. Some theories suggest that the Templars may have unearthed ancient manuscripts, religious texts, or even physical relics that challenged or contradicted the official teachings of the Church. This hidden knowledge, which was preserved by the Templars and passed down through their secretive network, became one of the greatest sources of their power and one of the main reasons for their eventual downfall. If the Templars had access to such knowledge, it could explain their sudden wealth, their strategic importance, and their unique position within both the religious and political spheres of medieval Europe. The idea that the Templars were guardians of the Grail and other sacred relics is not limited to speculative history. It is rooted in centuries of myth, legend, and even eyewitness accounts. The most famous of these accounts comes from the Arthurian legends, in which the Grail is depicted as a powerful, mystical object that can only be found by a select group of knights, the most famous being Sir Galahad. The Grail, in these tales, is portrayed as a symbol of divine insight and ultimate truth, a key to unlocking the mysteries of the universe. While these stories are fictional, their themes of sacred guardianship and the search for hidden wisdom have clearly influenced the later narratives surrounding the Templars. According to some historians and alternative theorists, the Templars' connection to the Grail was not purely symbolic. There are claims that the Templars discovered a physical artifact during their time in Jerusalem, possibly hidden within the ruins of the Temple of Solomon, that they believed to be the Grail. Some believe that this object was not the literal cup of Christ, but something much more esoteric, a relic tied to the ancient mysteries of the region. This could have been an object of immense spiritual significance, perhaps a collection of ancient texts, a scroll, or even a stone tablet inscribed with knowledge far older than Christianity itself. Whatever the exact nature of the Grail, its preservation by the Templars is a key element of the legend, one that has fueled speculation for centuries. The Templars' role as guardians of the Grail would have placed them in direct opposition to the established Church, which was wary of any challenge to its authority. The Church, already wary of the Templars' growing wealth and influence, would have been deeply suspicious of any hidden knowledge that might undermine its teachings. It is said that the Templars took great care to keep the Grail's location and nature a closely guarded secret, passing the knowledge only to a select few within their ranks. This secretive behavior would have only heightened suspicions, especially as the Order's influence grew. The Church, viewing the Templars' growing power as a threat, would have sought to discredit them, accusing them of heresy and deviant practices. The dissolution of the Order in 1312, then, can be seen as the Church's attempt to reclaim control over a powerful group that had become too autonomous, too independent, and too mysterious for its own comfort. While the Grail remains the most famous and sought after of the Templars' alleged relics, other artifacts have also been associated with the Order. One such relic is the Ark of the Covenant, the legendary chest that, according to biblical tradition, housed the stone tablets inscribed with the Ten Commandments. The Templars' connection to the Ark is tied to their time in the Holy Land, particularly their involvement in the Crusades and their protection of religious sites in Jerusalem. Some theorists suggest that the Templars discovered the Ark beneath the ruins of the Temple of Solomon, an idea that is often linked to their secretive activities in the region. According to this theory, the Ark's divine power was seen as a key to unlocking the mysteries of the universe, and the Templars sought to protect it from falling into the wrong hands. The Templars' association with the Ark and the Grail underscores the idea that they were more than mere soldiers or bankers. They were spiritual protectors, keepers of ancient wisdom, and guardians of secrets that, if revealed, could challenge the very foundations of the Christian faith. The notion that the Templars held such powerful relics adds a mystical dimension to their story, transforming them from mere knights into custodians of a hidden, esoteric tradition that continues to captivate our imaginations today. The mystery of these sacred relics continues to inspire countless theories and explorations. In modern times, many have speculated that the Templars did not simply vanish after their disbandment, but instead carried their secrets with them into hiding. The mystery surrounding the Templar Order is not confined solely to the question of their wealth, their relics, or their secret societies. There is a deeper, more philosophical layer to their story, one that touches on the nature of power, secrecy, and the conflict between institutional control and the pursuit of hidden knowledge. In the centuries following the Templars' disbandment, their legacy has been linked to the concept of a hidden hand, a shadowy, powerful force that operates behind the scenes, influencing the course of history without the knowledge of the masses. This idea has given rise to a multitude of theories that suggest the Templars' influence did not end with their official suppression in 1312, but instead continued to shape the world in secret through various political, religious, and cultural channels. The notion of a hidden hand is rooted in the belief that powerful individuals or groups, often described as elite, secretive, or even conspiratorial, wield significant influence over world events. These forces operate outside the realm of publicly known institutions and structures, controlling the flow of information, shaping political agendas, and guiding the decisions of governments and leaders. The idea that the Templars, or a remnant of their order, may have continued to operate in secret is not just a modern conspiracy theory. It is a concept that has been woven into the fabric of European history, especially in the centuries after their official disbandment. One of the most compelling aspects of the Templar legacy is the idea that the order was not merely a medieval military and financial institution, but was, at its core, an organization focused on the preservation of knowledge, particularly esoteric and mystical knowledge. According to this view, the Templars were not only guardians of relics like the Holy Grail or the Ark of the Covenant, but they also safeguarded a deeper, more profound wisdom, knowledge that, if revealed, could alter the course of history. This hidden knowledge, it is believed, was carefully passed down through secret channels, and the Templars' influence persisted in the form of these secretive networks. The idea of the Templars as the custodians of hidden knowledge ties into broader themes of intellectual and spiritual liberation. In the medieval period, the Catholic Church held considerable power, not only over religious matters, but over all forms of knowledge. The Church controlled the dissemination of religious texts and was the ultimate arbiter of what constituted truth. Any challenge to this authority was seen as heretical and, therefore, dangerous. The Templars, however, are thought to have possessed a unique understanding of spirituality and the natural world, an understanding that existed outside the orthodox teachings of the Church. In this sense, they were rebels, not just in their military endeavors, but in their intellectual and spiritual pursuits as well. It is in this intellectual rebellion that many see the Templars' true legacy. According to some theorists, the Templars were aware of ancient knowledge that predated Christianity, a wisdom that came from the civilizations of Egypt, Greece, and Mesopotamia. This knowledge, often referred to as the ancient mysteries, contained secrets about the nature of reality, the cosmos, and the divine. The Church, it is argued, sought to suppress this knowledge because it conflicted with the Church's narrative of creation and the divine plan. By guarding these ancient truths, the Templars became not only defenders of their order, but also protectors of humanity's lost wisdom. In the centuries following the Templars' dissolution, the idea of hidden knowledge continued to manifest in various ways. Many thinkers, particularly during the Renaissance and the Age of Enlightenment, sought to reclaim this lost wisdom, often in the form of alchemical texts, ancient religious manuscripts, and the esoteric traditions of the Hermetic order. It is here that the Templars are believed to have left a profound mark. Some scholars suggest that the intellectual movements of the Renaissance, which celebrated the rediscovery of classical knowledge, were influenced by Templar thought. The Renaissance, after all, was a period of rediscovery and revival, and the Templars' esoteric teachings would have fit perfectly into the intellectual climate of the time. This concept of hidden knowledge also played a role in the formation of various secret societies that emerged during the 16th and 17th centuries, most notably the Freemasons. As discussed earlier, many believe that Freemasonry was influenced by the Templar tradition, adopting symbols and rituals that harken back to the medieval order. The idea of a secret society preserving ancient wisdom was not new. It was a direct continuation of the Templars' supposed role as guardians of forbidden knowledge. Freemasonry, in this context, becomes the modern-day heir to the Templar legacy, continuing the work of safeguarding esoteric truths and promoting the ideal of intellectual and spiritual liberation. The idea that the Templars continued to influence world events in secret also ties into broader conspiracy theories that suggest a shadowy cabal of elites have been pulling the strings of history for centuries. The notion that the Templars were part of this hidden hand is appealing to many because it offers an alternative explanation for the course of history, one in which powerful, unseen forces shape global events from behind the scenes. Whether it is through the rise of banking dynasties, the formation of global political organizations, or the shaping of cultural and intellectual movements, the Templars are often seen as part of a larger, continuous effort to influence the course of human civilization. This view is further bolstered by the fact that many prominent figures throughout history have been associated with secret societies that share symbols and rituals with the Templars. From the founding fathers of the United States to European monarchs, many have been linked to Freemasonry and other esoteric traditions. The question then arises, were these individuals consciously carrying on the work of the Templars, or were they simply inheritors of a tradition that has been passed down through generations of elites? Regardless of the answer, the connection between the Templars and these powerful, secretive networks is a central theme in many alternative histories. In the modern era, the idea of a hidden hand continues to captivate those who are interested in uncovering the secrets of the past. With the rise of the internet and the proliferation of conspiracy theories, it has become easier than ever for people to explore these hidden connections and speculate on the true nature of power in the world. For many, The Templars represent the archetype of the secretive, powerful force that operates in the background, guiding history and shaping events in ways that are hidden from the public eye. While there is no concrete evidence to support the idea that the Templars continued to wield influence in secret after their official dissolution, the enduring appeal of this theory speaks to something deeper: the human desire to uncover the hidden forces that shape our world. In many ways, the Templars have become a symbol of the eternal struggle between knowledge and ignorance, between those who seek to uncover the truth and those who wish to keep it hidden. Whether as guardians of sacred relics, members of secret societies, or part of a larger network of hidden elites, the Templars' story is far from over. Their legacy, wrapped in mystery and secrecy, continues to captivate and intrigue those who believe that there is more to history than what we are told. The idea that the Templars were part of a hidden hand that shaped the course of world events is one of the most enduring and tantalizing mysteries of all. The idea that the Templars may have left behind a coded message for future generations is one of the most intriguing and enduring elements of their mythology. This belief comes from a long-standing tradition in esoteric history that secret knowledge is never completely destroyed. It is simply hidden, waiting to be rediscovered when the world is ready. Many researchers and enthusiasts argue that the Templars, aware of their impending downfall, may have begun encoding their teachings, maps, and spiritual insights into symbols, architecture, and text that could survive the collapse of their order. These symbols would then act as silent messengers, carrying knowledge forward through time, accessible only to those who knew how to read them. One of the most common places where these supposed messages are thought to exist is in the architecture of medieval churches and cathedrals. Gothic structures, with their elaborate stone carvings, stained glass, and geometric designs, are believed to contain hidden mathematical and spiritual codes. The Templars, who were master builders and engineers, may have used sacred geometry to embed deeper meanings into their buildings. These geometric patterns are said to represent cosmic truths, relationships between heaven and earth, the human soul and the divine, and the cycles of time and nature. It is believed that these geometric symbols were intended to guide future seekers toward a higher understanding of the universe, long after the Templars themselves were gone. Another medium where coded messages might have been placed is in manuscripts. During the Crusades, the Templars had access to ancient libraries, including those of Jerusalem and the Middle East. They may have encountered older, pre-Christian teachings and integrated them into their own philosophy. Some scholars suggest that the Templars developed a method of encoding this knowledge into texts that seemed innocent on the surface, but contained layers of hidden meaning. This practice resembles the techniques used by alchemists and mystics during the Renaissance, who often wrote in symbolic language to protect their work from the church. In this context, the Templars' manuscripts might hold clues to forgotten wisdom, encoded in allegory, symbol, and metaphor. One of the most persistent theories is that the Templars left behind a map or prophecy concerning a major future event, something that would take centuries to unfold. This idea is closely related to claims that the Templars discovered something extraordinary in Jerusalem, perhaps a relic or ancient teaching, and understood that humanity was not yet ready for its full revelation. If this were true, the Templars may have looked for a way to safeguard the information across generations without exposing it to danger. This could have resulted in the creation of coded maps that pointed to hidden locations, perhaps places where relics were buried or where sacred events were prophesied to occur. These maps, if they exist, may be disguised within artworks, religious symbols, or the layout of certain structures that align with celestial events. The concept of a hidden Templar message also ties into the idea of cyclical time. Many ancient traditions believe that humanity experiences ages or cycles, periods of growth, decline, and renewal. If the Templars adopted this worldview, they may have believed that their message would only be understood during a specific future cycle, when humanity reached a level of awareness capable of comprehending it. This would mean that the encoded message was not just a historical safeguard, but a spiritual beacon for future generations. Some theorists argue that we may now be living in the era the Templars were preparing for, a time when their message can finally be deciphered. There are also suggestions that the Templars communicated through symbolism that later groups adopted. Freemasons, Rosicrucians, and other esoteric societies have used symbols like the compass, square, rose, and cross, many of which are thought to have roots in Templar teachings. These symbols may not just be emblems of membership, but remnants of a much older code. If the Templars passed their knowledge to successor groups, then their message may have been preserved through these societies, hidden in rituals and diagrams that have survived into the modern world. Some researchers even believe that the Templars encoded messages into astronomical alignments. Certain Templar sites appear to be positioned according to the movements of the sun, moon, or stars, suggesting an intention to link earthly places with cosmic events. These alignments could serve as a calendar or a countdown to a moment the Templars considered significant. Whether this moment refers to a spiritual awakening, a global shift, or the return of something sacred is the subject of much speculation. Ultimately, the idea of a Templar message, carefully encoded, hidden in plain sight, and destined for a future audience, reflects a deeper truth about the Order's legacy. The Templars were more than warriors. They were thinkers, builders, and seekers of wisdom. Whether they truly left behind a coded message may never be proven definitively, but the possibility itself has become part of their legend. It suggests that their influence did not end with their fall, but continues to whisper across centuries to those willing to listen. As the centuries have passed, the story of the Templars has evolved from a historical narrative into a deeply embedded mythos, intertwining with themes of power, secrecy, and divine purpose. This ongoing transformation has led to the Templars' presence in modern-day society not merely as historical figures, but as symbols of a deeper, hidden agenda. Whether in the form of secret societies, modern conspiracies, or even global politics, the influence of the Templars is often invoked as an explanation for powerful networks controlling the direction of history. The very nature of their mystery, their wealth, their secrets, and their sudden disappearance, has fostered an endless stream of theories suggesting that the Templars didn't just vanish, but evolved into a new, shadowy force that continues to shape the world today. The notion that the Templars might have survived their official dissolution in 1312 and adapted to a new guise is central to many conspiracy theories. One of the most compelling aspects of these theories is the idea that the Templars' wealth and influence did not disappear overnight, but were instead channeled into more covert operations. Their vast financial networks, their understanding of power, and their connection to the upper echelons of medieval society would have made it possible for them to operate in the shadows, hidden from the prying eyes of the church and secular authorities. The sudden and unexpected downfall of the Templars, with charges of heresy, blasphemy, and corrupt practices, is often cited as evidence that the order was, in fact, much more than it appeared. Some researchers believe that the Templars, in their final years, foresaw the coming destruction of their order and took measures to protect their legacy. One theory posits that they transferred their assets, their knowledge, and their most sacred relics to secret locations across Europe. These treasures, hidden away from the Church's reach, were meant to be rediscovered when the time was right. The key to unlocking this treasure trove, some believe, lies in a series of cryptic clues embedded in the architecture of Templar sites, the symbolism of secret societies, and even the bloodlines of certain powerful families. The idea that the Templars were the founders or inspirators of secret societies that exist today is perhaps one of the most persistent. Freemasonry, often associated with the Templars in popular lore, is seen as a direct descendant of their traditions. Symbols, Rituals and allegories used in Masonic lodges, such as the square, compass, and the all-seeing eye, are thought to have originated with the Templars. The connection between Freemasonry and the Templars has been a subject of great interest for conspiracy theorists who suggest that Freemasons, among others, carry on the Templars' work, preserving their esoteric knowledge and hidden truths. While the Templars may have operated through secret societies, their influence may have extended beyond this. Some historians and researchers propose that the Templars' wealth and power were transferred into a network of influential families and dynasties that continued their hidden work. Families with long-standing connections to the Templars, such as the House of Habsburg, the Rothschild banking family, or even the modern-day British royal family, are often cited as the heirs to the Templar legacy. This idea suggests that the Templars were not merely destroyed, but instead evolved, shaping world events through powerful families and financial networks that remained hidden from the public eye. One of the most significant aspects of these modern Templar theories is the concept of the New World Order, a term that has been used to describe a group of elites who are believed to control global events behind the scenes. Conspiracy theorists argue that the Templars, or their descendants, are the secret architects of this shadowy group, manipulating global politics, economics, and culture to further their own agenda. This agenda is often depicted as one of total control and dominance, with the Templars' hidden wisdom serving as the foundation for their long-term plans. The idea that the Templars might have been working toward the creation of a global empire or a unified world under their control is one of the more dramatic interpretations of their legacy. In modern times, the Templars' association with secret societies and hidden knowledge has been perpetuated through various media, films, books, documentaries, and even video games. The Templars are often depicted as a powerful force operating in the background, shaping world events through covert actions. Their role in these stories often reflects a sense of resistance to mainstream power structures and a desire to reveal hidden truths. From Dan Brown's The Da Vinci Code to the Assassin's Creed video game series, the Templars are presented as both villains and heroes, complex figures who operate in the shadows, battling for control over ancient secrets. Yet, in these modern portrayals, the Templars are more than just symbols of secrecy and conspiracy. They also represent a search for truth. The Templar quest for the Holy Grail, for instance, is often seen as a metaphor for humanity's eternal quest for enlightenment and deeper knowledge. Whether in a religious, intellectual, or spiritual sense, the Templar story is one of searching for something more, something hidden, something that could change everything if it were ever fully understood. This connection between the Templars and the pursuit of truth has led to their elevation as symbols of resistance against the forces of ignorance, suppression, and control. But beyond the conspiracies and the mysteries, there is a deeper question that remains. Why do the Templars continue to captivate our imaginations? Why does their story continue to resonate with people centuries after their fall? The answer may lie in the universal themes of power, secrecy, and the struggle for knowledge. The Templar story, as it has been mythologized and transformed, reflects a fundamental human longing for something beyond the ordinary, something hidden beneath the surface. Whether or not the Templar secrets are real, their legacy speaks to the desire to uncover the unseen forces that shape our world, to challenge the narratives that are presented to us, and to search for a higher truth that may lie just beyond our reach. In modern society, where information is constantly available but often manipulated or obscured, the idea of hidden knowledge is more relevant than ever. The Templars, as the guardians of forgotten truths, continue to symbolize our collective search for understanding. Whether through the pursuit of lost relics, the decoding of ancient symbols, or the questioning of historical narratives, the Templars remain a symbol of resistance against the control of knowledge and power. As long as there are those who believe that there is more to the world than what is immediately visible, the Templar story will continue to inspire and intrigue. They are not just a relic of the past. They are a living myth, one that will continue to evolve, drawing in those who seek answers to the questions that remain hidden in the shadows of history. As we draw the curtain on this exploration of the Templars' secrets and their enduring influence on history, it becomes clear that their legacy transcends the medieval period in which they flourished. The Templars are not merely figures from the past. They are timeless symbols of mystery, resistance, and the pursuit of hidden knowledge. The Order's sudden rise to power, their subsequent fall from grace, and the theories surrounding their continued influence have captured the human imagination for centuries. But what does their story ultimately reveal about us, about the way we view history, power, and the potential for unseen forces shaping our world? The narrative of the Templars is deeply intertwined with a broader theme of suppressed knowledge and the desire for enlightenment. The Order's quest for sacred relics, mystical wisdom, and spiritual truth was not just a pursuit of power. It was in many ways a rebellion against the control of information by the church and the political elite. The Templars sought to transcend the limitations of their time, and their ultimate failure, whether by betrayal, manipulation, or their own ambition, only deepens the mystery of their legacy. Today, the story of the Templars challenges us to think critically about the information we are given, the narratives we are taught, and the hidden truths that may still be concealed from us. There is also an enduring tension between the Templar myth and the mainstream historical narrative. For centuries, the official story of the Templars was one of corruption, heresy, and scandal. The Catholic Church, in particular, worked hard to portray the Order as a threat to its authority, and the suppression of the Templars was presented as a necessary act to protect the faith. However, the passing of time has allowed alternative histories to emerge, challenging the official narrative and questioning the motivations behind the Templars' persecution. Many now see the Order not as a corrupt institution, but as one that stood for something far more complex, an embodiment of the clash between knowledge and power, secrecy and transparency, freedom and control. The mystery surrounding the Templars has also highlighted the importance of symbolism in the formation of collective identity. Whether it is through the use of sacred geometry, the construction of cathedrals, or the passing down of hidden knowledge through secret societies, symbols have always played a crucial role in shaping human understanding of the world. The Templars, as master builders and custodians of ancient wisdom, were aware of the power that symbols could hold. Their ability to encode complex ideas into seemingly innocent images, whether through architectural design or cryptic manuscripts, suggests a deeper understanding of the universe and humanity's place within it. These symbols, carried forward through the centuries by Freemasons and other esoteric societies, continue to serve as reminders of a time when knowledge was guarded, sacred, and deeply transformative. The question of why the Templars' story continues to captivate us is an important one. Perhaps, at its core, their narrative represents our collective desire to uncover the mysteries of the past, to challenge the official versions of history, and to question the forces that shape our world. The Templars embody the idea that there is always more to the story than we are told, that history is not a fixed record but a dynamic, evolving tale filled with hidden chapters. The fact that the Templars have become a central figure in modern conspiracies, mythologies, and pop culture is a testament to the enduring allure of their mystery. In many ways, the Templars also represent the archetype of the outsider, an order that existed on the fringes of both the church and secular society. They were simultaneously knights and scholars, warriors and mystics, embodying a duality that was both appealing and dangerous. The Templars' secretive nature, combined with their wealth and influence, made them a target for those in power, but it also made them a symbol of resistance. Their story speaks to those who feel marginalized by mainstream institutions or who are searching for something beyond the accepted norms of society. For many, the Templars are a symbol of a higher calling, a pursuit of knowledge and spiritual truth that cannot be suppressed by those in power. As we look to the future, it is clear that the Templar mythos will continue to evolve. The search for hidden knowledge, whether in the form of lost relics, forgotten wisdom, or ancient prophecies, is a timeless pursuit that transcends culture, religion, and time. The Templars' legacy, shrouded in mystery and intrigue, will continue to captivate those who seek to uncover the truths that lie beneath the surface of history. The question of what they truly discovered, what they left behind, and how their knowledge continues to influence us today is one that will persist as long as humanity continues to search for meaning and purpose in the world. In the end, the Templar story is not just one of ancient knights and lost treasures. It is a story about the eternal human desire to seek out hidden truths, to challenge the accepted narrative, and to explore the mysteries that lie beyond the known world. Their influence, whether real or imagined, has shaped the course of history, and their myth continues to echo through the corridors of time, whispering secrets to those who are willing to listen. And perhaps, just as the Templars themselves did, we too must ask, what secrets lie hidden in the shadows, waiting to be uncovered, and how will we, the seekers of today, choose to interpret them?